Hello, my name is Aaron, and I am a subject matter specialist for Dell EMC in the systems management domain. In this video, we will look at how to troubleshoot server updates using the Dell Online Catalog to manage updates in OpenManage Enterprise. The first location to start looking to identify potential issues is the update job in OpenManage Enterprise. It will identify where the job fails. Does it fail on the download of updates, or does the push to individual server or group of servers fails? We'll start by navigating to the monitor section and the job subsection and finding the update job we need to review. Once we're in the job section, we find our update, which is right here, and we click on View Details. As we see, we get an overall status of the job, which in this case is complete. And then if we scroll down and we look at the execution details, we have two sub-jobs. The first job, which is at the bottom, is the job in which OpenManage Enterprise decides whether or not it needs to pull updates from a different source, in this case, downloads.dell.com. In this case, we get the status on the right-hand side of the screen in which the job name itself is identified and the messages from the job are reported. In this case, OpenManage Enterprise decides it does need to pull updates, so it processes where it needs to pull them from, in this case, a catalog file on downloads.dell.com. It then downloads the updates it requires and verifies them. Once it verifies them, it then validates that the files haven't been tampered with, and once the validation is complete, the report is that the download is complete and that job is successful. We then move to the individual execution. In this case, it's going to be a single target, but this is the actual job where OpenManage Enterprise then communicates with the DRACs in order for them to pull the updates they require. And again, like the download task, as we can see, there is a status reported on the right-hand side of the screen. And this information, starting with the job ID, is actually being reported. Actually, all of this information is being reported from the DRAC itself based on queries from OpenManage Enterprise. Basically, this is OpenManage Enterprise requesting a job queue clear, which is an optional step, but in this case, it was done. OpenManage Enterprise then queries the DRAC to make sure that it's available for communication by checking the lifecycle service state and remote services, making sure both are ready. And we then get our first execution, which is the check of the repository on the DRAC for information, and if the file is in here, the DRAC then begins the download. And here's where that process begins. Here's where it completes. Confirmation that the file successfully downloaded. DRAC code from the DRAC itself, also validating that the package downloaded successfully. The next job is then started, which is the update itself. And the DRAC reports that the job for the update is complete. And because this is a BIOS update and we told it to, the DRAC then executes a reboot job because there is a pending job, and then in this case, we told it to go ahead and execute. Once the reboot job is complete, the DRAC reports, in this case, that the update was successfully applied. If there were a complication during the download process, say some point at this point, OpenManage Enterprise reports it is unable to download the file, you would need to check with the customer's assistance OpenManage Enterprise's ability to connect to downloads.dell.com. Basically, the easiest way to do that would be to navigate to downloads.dell.com on a browser, preferably in the same network as the OpenManage Enterprise appliance. If the second job fails, usually that's going to be a communication problem between the DRAC and OpenManage Enterprise, and the first thing to find out from the customer, which may take a little time if the customer needs to consult with any kind of network security team, is whether or not OpenManage Enterprise and the iDRACs can communicate using SMB version 2 or CIFS network protocol. It may be necessary to engage further assistance to help the customer identify any communication problems. In this video, we examined how to review update tasks in OpenManage Enterprise. We looked at the two jobs that make up the update task. The file download job and the update job itself make up the update task. Both jobs can provide information as to why an update task failed and should be used to identify where to focus troubleshooting efforts further. Thank you for your time.